I'm coming to you today with something that I believe might have never happened before in the history of football. It is so dumb, and the odds of it happening are so low that I mean, I can't help myself. I think I'm an addict. I wake up in the morning and I'm like scratching my, I gotta find the coolest, dumbest football story out there. I like a heat-seeking missile. I'm drawn to it. This is one that wasn't even sent to me. I'm pretty sure I saw it on a billboard. And, walking through Times Square or something, because that's what everybody that lives in New York does every day. I'm just waddling through Times Square on my way to work, which, of course, is in my apartment. And I saw this story on the billboard, and it revolves around the history maker, as it were, is 24-year-old Aaron Paul Morley. He is a midfielder who plays in League One. He's somebody that started his career at Rochdale, then, made a move to Bolton Wanderers, made a move to Wycombe Wanderers. He's a wanderer, right? I mean, the guy's got a wandering soul. There's no way to argue with that. But he's carved out a good career for himself and seems to be well on his way to having a much longer, successful career as a player in the English Football League. And, at the age of 24, playing a good amount of minutes, maybe he's hoping that he could work his way into the championship and then maybe sniff the Premier League. He's one of those types of players who's definitely having a good life, making a good living, but he's also not somebody that I ever would have thought of, that I ever would have heard of if he didn't get caught in this absolute washing machine that has ended up producing one of the more spectacular spectacles you could imagine. So he left Bolton Wanderers to go on loan at Wycombe Wanderers. And his final match in this loan with Wycombe was January 1st, New Year's Day, and Wycombe is playing against Exeter City. And we've got this Morley guy who's taking the field, and it's a good match against Exeter City. Wycombe scores to go up 1-0 in the 66th minute, and then in the 86th minute, there is a goal from a guy named Krama for Exeter City that equalizes the score, but it's very late on and kind of almost sentimental, as Aaron Morley steps up to take a penalty for Wycombe Wanderers and shelves it. In the 94th minute, he scores to win the match against Exeter City. His final match against Wycombe Wanderers, and he delivers the goods. He delivers the win, right? And there are news articles on BBC about whether, he's going to go back to Wycombe Wanderers at some point. But for the moment, after this match, he is recalled to the other Wanderers. He is recalled to Bolton after serving on loan at Wycombe, a loan that was clearly at least marginally successful, having scored in his final match to be the match winner. He did only score 2 goals, but I mean, he's a midfielder. Come on. Goal scoring is not like the number one thing that he needed to do. Now, the way that Wikipedia defines what happened is thusly. By January, Morley had helped Wycombe to the top of the table in League One, leading Bolton to exercise a break clause and recall him from his loan on the 1st of January. So basically, this is the same day after he scores this game-winning goal. As you would imagine from that sentence, the original loan was supposed to be a year long, but Wycombe Wanderers are actually doing way better than Bolton Wanderers. They're wandering farther up the table on 51 points. Bolton's on 37. They're looking at Morley and saying, hey, we want to bring this guy back. Maybe he can help us in the back half of the season because they have a couple of matches at hand, and maybe they can get themselves to a playoff spot. Little did Bolton know that this decision was going to turn out to be one of the best decisions that they could possibly make, because you'll never guess who Bolton's first game after recalling Morley was. Exeter. Again. 3 days after Aaron Morley had scored the stoppage time winner against Exeter City playing for Wycombe Wanderers, he was recalled on the same day using a break clause in his loan contract and was now playing for Bolton on January 4th against Exeter City. Exeter City takes a 1-0 lead in the second half on a goal from Mitchell, but the comeback is on. In the 88th minute, very reminiscent of the previous match, Collins scores a goal to make it 1-1. Bolton Wanderers on the comeback trail. And who else would be there than Aaron Morley to score a consecutive stoppage time winner against the same team for a different club? He is now on Bolton Wanderers, scoring in the 91st minute to win the match for Bolton over Exeter City, which means Exeter City has now lost 2 matches in a 3-day span because of a stoppage time goal for Morley playing for different clubs. It's like a recurring nightmare. They can't avoid him. He just pops up on every team that they're playing, and he pops up on every team that they're playing against. And again, this guy is not a striker. That was only his 2nd goal for Wycombe Wanderers in 19 appearances in the league. And this is only his 9th goal for Bolton Wanderers. He's made 100 appearances for the club. The odds of this happening, because the odds of Aaron Morley scoring a goal are so infinitesimally small. It is absurd that this actually happened. And Exeter City, before suffering these 2 consecutive defeats, definitely was in the playoff picture. If they'd managed to win those 2 matches, they would in fact be tied on points with Bolton Wanderers at this particular point. But instead of even a draw, they lost. Both of them because of Aaron Morley. Now I wonder if this sort of thing actually has something to do with random chance, and it's all just random chance, and Aaron Morley happened to have his moment, or if Aaron Morley actually had picked up on something, right? If Aaron Morley actually understood something about the way that Exeter City was putting together its defense. Because it is possible, right, that Aaron Morley, particularly for that 2nd goal, because the first goal's a penalty, whatever. The 2nd goal, because he had just played against Exeter City 3 days ago, was able to provide something of a more detailed scouting report. He was able to provide more knowledge about where to go and how to expose the team late. I mean, there's no better experience than having just been in this situation against this exact same team a couple of days ago. Honestly, though, my entire theory seems to fall apart. I found a highlight of the actual goal, and it's more on goalkeeper error than I would say anything else. Now, I'm going to ask you to really soak in the ambiance of the fact that there is a PA announcement going on while this goal is scored by Morley. This is Morley, by the way. He's running over, and he's just going to play a ball into the box that the goalkeeper just misplays. That is the actual audio of the goal itself right there. The guy is trying to get somebody in the stands from stopping some abuse that could potentially get the game called off while that announcement is going on. It seemingly distracts the goalkeeper, who's just not paying attention anymore, and Morley's cross goes in. So throw all that nonsense I said about understanding the other team out the window. Aaron Morley has the voodoo against Exeter City. And if you're Exeter City, you can't believe your luck. And honestly, this is the sort of thing that the fatalism in UK fandom can really grab onto and say, of course, we've given up match-winning goals in consecutive matches to the same guy playing for different teams. But if anybody can find another instance of this happening in football history, I'd love to know about it, because this is likely a completely one-of-one situation that leaves Exeter City out in the cold. Aaron Morley kind of getting screwed a little bit, getting taken off of Wycombe halfway through the season. But if he keeps scoring goals like this with this kind of voodoo, who knows? Maybe he can take the other Wanderers up to that position as well.